old kids, raising them up, bringing them to church. My boy's one of them, the one that lives in Wisconsin, he's 6'7", weighs 350 pounds. The one that lives in Calhoun, he's 6'6", and he's lost down to around 311 pounds. He's tickled to death, he's lost down to that. They said, how do you make a mind? I took care of that when I could reach down and get them. I took care of that when they were young. Old Barry came into the office Friday afternoon. He called me. He said, Daddy, what time are you leaving? I said, I'm getting off at 2. He said, all right. He said, wait a minute, I'm on my way over there. He said, I want to talk to you. I said, okay. He came over and came in the back door of the post office. Walked over there and he said, Daddy, he said, I just want to come over here and tell you I love you. He said, I just want to come over here and tell you I ain't seen you in 2 or 3 weeks, Daddy. He said, I just want to come over here and tell you I love you. 6'6", 311 pounds. Just want to tell you I love you. Oh, I tell you what, that's worth it all. That's worth it all right there. 30 years old, come in and say, Daddy, I just want to tell you I love you. It's worth it all. Verse 26. What time y'all get out of around here? About 2 o'clock. Verse 26, he said, hear me, teach me. Verse 27, he said, make me to understand. Verse 28, he said, strengthen me. Verse 29, he said, grant me the law. He said, verse 31, put me not to shame. Boy, I've seen preachers and I've seen pastors preach for years and pastors for years and get out and wallow in sin and bring a shame and a reproach to their ministry. Oh, I'd rather die today. I'd rather die today than bring a reproach upon the Lord. In February the 2nd, 2004, a Tuesday morning, I was off from work at the office, and I had been over to Brent's house in Woodstock, and I brought some brush home to burn for him. I was down there unloading it out of the truck, and I got feeling funny. I said, I got all day to do this. I ain't hurt myself. Went up there and sat down in my recliner. As soon as I sat down in my recliner, I started hurting under my throat right here. Oh, I got so sick, and I was about to throw up. And the kitchen was right there, and the bathroom was way over yonder. You know how us men are. I headed to the kitchen sink. I'm not trying to be vulgar or nice or anything like that, but after I got through vomiting, I turned around and got the phone, and I was going to call Pat at school and tell her to come home. I was sick. I dropped the phone and went right straight down into the trash can. I went and sat back down again, and I started to hurting again. I said, Lord, I'm having a heart attack. And I went to the kitchen and threw up again and passed out in the floor. I was laying on the kitchen floor. I don't know how long I stayed out. A minute, 2 minutes, I don't know how long I was out, but when I came to, I said, God, I said, this is it. I said, I'm ready to go. You gave me 35 years. God, I don't know anybody I've got to go apologize to or tell them I'm sorry that I've taken anything and cheated them in any way. God, I'm ready to go. I said, but Lord, just don't let Pat come in and find me dead in the kitchen floor. I said, she don't need that. God, she don't need to come in and find me dead in the kitchen floor. There was no smoke, there was no lightning, there was no voodoo magic or anything like that. God said, get up, boy, I ain't done with you yet. Had on no pair of dirty blue jeans, grease on them and everything, walked down the hallway, got a pair of dress pants out the closet because I knew I was on my way to the hospital. Got in that old fan and I leaned on the armrest and held both hands on the steering wheel like this because if I passed out, I was going to pull her to the ditch instead of hitting somebody head on. Drove 3 miles over that school and I told them, walked in, I said, y'all get Pat, I think I'm having a heart attack. And they looked at me like, duh! They called 911 and called Pat at the same time. They came and put the oxygen on me. And as soon as they put the oxygen on me, I started easing off. They carried me to the Calhoun Hospital, transported me that afternoon to the VA hospital in Atlanta. This was on Tuesday. Wednesday morning they came in and they said, well, we can do one or two things that we can do a catheterization, show run the dye through you and find out where the heart, where the blockages are at. Or we can wait and see if you have another heart attack. I said, let's do the dye. So they called downstairs and they said, we got one appointment. The last appointment of the day, we'll take him. So they carried me down. They run the dye through. They found out I had 3 blockages. They said, well, so Ben, we got his records. Let's just do him first in the morning. Thursday morning, they came and got me at 7 o'clock in the morning. They carried me down. They put 2 stents and annular plastic. I told them 2 screen doors and a rubber balloon in it. That was on Thursday. Friday morning, the doctor walked in and he said, Mr. Hall, he said, you did wonderful. He said, you ready to go home? I said, you're kidding. He said, no, you go home. I said, this big old, large black lady came in, nurse, and she said, your prayers came through, didn't they? I said, they certainly did. On Wednesday night, my heart got down to 35. And they had to wake me up. It started me to get my heart rate back up and everything. She was on call Wednesday night. She said, Friday morning, she said, man, you did great. I said, I'm on my way home. She said, well, she said, you can leave as soon as that orderly comes up here with the wheelchair. That was at 7 o'clock. I came in at 9 o'clock and she said, how you doing? I said, I'm on my way home. She said, what? I said, yeah. I said, soon that orderly gets here. 10 o'clock, no orderly. 11 o'clock, that big fat, that large black lady. I said, ma'am, I said, the old devil brought me in here Tuesday, flat on my back, and I was dying. I said, it's snowing outside. I said, can I walk outside and shout in the devil's face that he didn't win? God won another one. She turned around and she said, where'd that white preacher go? Me and Mama run out the door. Me and Mama run out the door. Walked across that parking lot. It was snowing. But you know, you got to be broken. You got to be down where God can use you. And then last of all, in closing, you can't quit. Verse 32, he said, I will run the way. I will run the way of thy commandments. No new commandment I give unto you, but that you love one another. You got the 10 commandments. They're not 10 suggestions. They're commandments. Right. We've got this 1611 King James. Let me tell you, there's 2 things I want you to remember today if you don't remember anything else about this message. You don't remember Joe Hall or who that little fat guy was with the cowboy boots on or anything. There's 2 things I want you to remember this morning. The word worry is not in the King James Bible. Now some of these other revisions and so forth like that, you'll find the word worry. It says, take no thought, casting all your cares upon him,